Shapiro, you talked about white privilege, and just this week, I had a conversation with Rachel Lazar, who's done some work, a Jewish American woman who's done some work on this area, as well as having extensive conversations with Dr. Greg Parks of Wake Forest University, who's also talked quite a bit about critical race theory. And it's my understanding that white privilege is not telling individuals that they cannot speak, but it is a term for societal privilege that individuals have as a benefit of their white skin. And I don't think that, and I think universities would be remiss to then say that because you're white, you're not allowed to say anything that's critical of white people. I didn't know that white privilege actually went into that sphere. My understanding is it's just, and the issue is that white privilege makes people uncomfortable to talk about the societal privilege that they have.
She's a congresswoman, right? And she's bringing up about critical race theory and white privilege. But look at her position of power. So how does she get that position of power? She's not white. I don't understand that. How are you gonna bring up some critical race theory and the special privilege that some white people get because of their skin color, while you're sitting up there as a congresswoman? Don't they make like about almost $180,000 a year? Don't they? I got research that when I get up. I think so. Almost like 100, and that's just only the basic package. That has nothing to do with all the special stuff that comes with that. You know, they get special access to a lot of things that we can get access to. So I don't understand. Why do black people get to a certain level of power, and instead of uplifting their own people and giving them the guidance to get that level of success, we don't do that. We bring up race. But you're not white. You're black, making almost $180,000 a year. That's a pretty good job. And there's always room to go higher. Nope, we just don't keep bringing up race.
Well, to me, what I say on campuses all the time is if you want to cite instances of racism that we can all find and fight together, that's something that I'm more than willing to stand next to you and fight, because that's obviously stuff that we should fight together. But when you just say that there is a white privilege out there in the ether and that by dint of birth your skin color generates for you an advantage, what you're really saying to people is that your view is less valuable because you have not experienced what I've experienced. And that is an identity argument, that's a character argument, that's not a rational political argument that can actually be taken on in any way. It's more of a cudgel and a club than it is an attempt to open a discussion.
Well, I think it's a demonstrable evidence that through society's demographics that being white has societal privileges that being black does not. But
we can talk about how that manifests, because that's
I'm also interested in what you just said now, is that you would.
She doesn't just say what I think she just said, right? So if that's how you think and whatever your report is saying, since you were a congressman with that level of power, shouldn't you try to make those changes inside the system instead of bringing it up and complaining about the system? I think my light just went out. I think that's what we should be doing if we felt so much about white privilege. Since we got our feet in the door, we should open that door wide open and help other young black successful right into the door. Why you sit there and you complain? Well, your job is already paying you how much money? We don't we don't open the door to make changes. We go in there and we just complain. We act like we can't make any changes. People like this, they're only in it for themselves. That's what I personally believe. They're only in it for themselves, and they use this type of topics to stir the pot a little bit without people recognizing that, well, wait a minute, you're already in there, so why don't you bend some laws and flex your power a little bit so things could be easy on us. If we're saying such white privilege such exists, if it exists, you wouldn't be sitting there right now.
Would stand next to anyone who has this. So, Mr. Shapiro, my question to you is, for Ms. Dunston, the tying the noose around the campus and writing messages that target African-American young students, would you consider that hate speech, and then would you stand next to her and fight for her?
As I say, I would. This is the first I'm hearing about it, honestly. But
really,
yeah. But from hearing about it, maybe because it's local. I mean, I'm from LA. But in any case, I'm more than happy to stand alongside her and fight whatever group was responsible for this. Not only more than happy. I mean, you're talking about the alt-right. Again, I was the #1 target of anti-Semitic harassment from the alt-right last year.
Thank you.
I'm more than happy to do all that. And I think there's one more distinction that has to be made. When we talk about cases like Taylor's, they're horrific, and the administration is siding with Taylor. Okay, the administration is doing the right thing by Taylor, or trying to do the right thing by Taylor, as they should be. And I think that we need to make a distinction between cases where the administration is actively participating in the suppression of speech and cases in which the administration is trying to do the right thing in order to punish people for application of.
I guess you wasn't expecting Ben Shapiro to totally agree with being in the opposition of racism. I don't know what she was expecting him to say otherwise. But it's just a shame to see these people reach the level of success that they do, even in the entertainment industry in Hollywood, to reach such level of success. But for some reason, they're always crying racism. They're always crying oppression. How are you oppressed when you're living in mansions? How are you oppressed when your car is worth almost $200,000? How are you being oppressed when your pool is like $300,000? Like, how are you oppressed? And when you gotta leave, you don't go to the airport like the regular people. You take private flights, or you got a private jet. I don't understand this. But like I said in the video, like they're in it for their own self. Because I think if they say the actual truth, it makes a lot of people look stupid. Because when you think about it, common sense will tell you, like, how could you question certain things when you have that position of power, when you got that position of power? So what you're trying to say, it wasn't your education, it wasn't your book smarts, it wasn't your degrees, it wasn't your diplomas that got you that position of job. So what else did you do? Because you're making it seem like you had to, if you ain't white, you got to do certain things to get in there. We don't want to think that. We want to think you were actually smart enough to get in there. What do you call it? Affirmative action? So I don't understand why they don't uplift other black people that they know have the smarts to be in that position of power just like they are, but they don't do that. So I don't know why. It's just sad to see this is where we at in the 2020s. We crying racism, we crying privilege. Slavery ended how long ago? Are we still talking about? We know it exists, but how much does it really exist that it holds you back from your day-to-day life? I can't tell the last I experienced it that could actually hold me back. Only person that can hold you back is yourself. You go there, you do drugs, sell illegal stuff, you're gonna go to jail. Yes, some people might get more years than others, but who chose with that? You choose to do what you did that put you in that position where you're gonna get all those years in jail. You don't want to do the hard work and study, and you didn't want to do all that. You want to take the easy way. I want to take the easy way, that's what you get. But I think she's sitting up there with a nice little, you know what I'm saying, her little jack sweater, and she's looking, lady, you making a lot of money. I know what you're making now, because you know how it goes sometimes. There's always, like I said, there's always room for you to grow in this type of positions. There's money involved. So she has an opportunity to grow. So I don't understand. You guys give me a think about this in the comments. I just think it's a bunch of nonsense that they still cry racism. They still cry all this while they have such a level of success in life. Their life is way better than the average citizen. They have access to things that we would never have access to. If something happens major, who do you think they're taking first? They going. The Senate, all of those people, all of them going first before they worry about the citizens. Tell me from line in the comments. Hey, until I catch you guys next video, man. Peace out. I think Ben Shapiro handled that very well, very professional, and I don't think she would expect them to handle it that well. I'll catch you guys next video.